Hello everyone, welcome to today's news chatter. Before getting into the important topics of the day, let me give you a basic, most important information which will help you in prelims a lot. So recently, the Prime Minister of India has declared that they are going to give the Bharat Ratna Award to the late Chief Minister of Bihar, Mr. Karpuri Thakur. So he is a very important leader in the post-independence era of India. From the UPSC examination point of view, what you need to know is about the award Bharat Ratna. As you all might already know, Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian award that can be provided to a person in India. Bharat Ratna award has a medal in the shape of a people leaf. In the front of the leaf, we have an inscription of sun along with the words Bharat Ratna. Behind the medal, we have the state emblem of India along with the words Satyameva Jayate, which is the motto of the Indian nation. One important point you need to know is in a particular year, only 3 nominees can be provided with Bharat Ratna Award. How is it provided? It is based on the recommendation of the Prime Minister of India to the President of India. Another very important information, there is no monetary award provided to a person who will be given the Bharat Ratna Award. Because it is the highest civilian award, we cannot equate it with money. So these are all the basic informations which you should be knowing. So let's start with the session. Before starting, among the below mentioned statement regarding Rohtang tunnel is correct. So they have given 4 statements and they are asking which among them is a correct statement. So 3 statements are incorrect. Let's look at the statements one by one. It is also called as Jayaprakash Narayan Tunnel. Everyone should be knowing that the name of the Rohtang tunnel is Atal tunnel. It's not Jayaprakash Narayan tunnel, so it's a wrong statement. Second one, it is the world's longest single tube highway. Yes, it is the world's longest single tube highway, and then the length of this tunnel is 9.02 kilometer. The third statement, which is mentioning that it is of length 12 kilometer, is wrong. The fourth statement, it is located in Uttarakhand. It is not located in Uttarakhand, it is located in Himachal Pradesh. So this particular topic is also very important for UPSC Prelims Examination. Take a note of it. Let's start with the topics of the day. Committee for Equitable Distribution of Benefits. So recently this particular problem has been in news and has been debated regularly. That is, when we talk about reservation, there is a debate that only certain sections of the downward societies are enjoying the benefits of reservation. So, among the entire SC community, for example, it is a claim that only certain SCs are getting all the benefits, and there are several SC communities who are not getting any benefits. So, the government has chaired the cabinet secretary and provided a particular committee to check into this issue. Also, another thing is about the subcategorization of SCs and STs. So at present, we have quota for SC and we have quota for STs also. So the government is asking, do we have to subcategorize the SCs and STs and provide reservation to certain caste categories so that this problem can be overcome? But that's a very crucial and very difficult process. So this committee which is being appointed now will check all these problems and will try to come up with a solution. So what is the work? To evaluate, work out a method for equitable distribution. Whatever benefits schemes are provided to the backward sections of the community, how to ensure that equitable distribution happens. So that is the thing this committee will decide about. They will prevent crowding out of schemes. Crowding out of scheme means the entire benefit being taken by certain communities only. Article 341 and 342, very important when we talk about SC and STs. These two articles explicitly does not prevent the parliament from subcategorizing. It is Article 342 in which the list of SCs is being mentioned. In that list, it is not mentioned that you cannot divide SCs into separate subcategories. So this shows that if the parliament wants, parliament can come up with subcategorization. Article 16.4, the fundamental rights, has clearly stated that states can create special provisions for any backward classes it felt was underrepresented. So these points you need to know from mains examination point of view. Recently, you might be noticing that several NGOs license have been cancelled by the central government of India. So the reason given by the central government is that these NGOs were not following the FCRA regulation, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Acts regulations. So recently, what happened is in the year 2020, the government amended the FCRA and made it a little strict. So what are all the things you need to know from examination point of view? From both prelims and mains point of view, it is very important. Take a note of it. The registration for any NGO or any organization under FCRA is for 5 years. After 5 years, they have to renew it. The registered groups, whoever is registered under FCRA, can receive foreign contribution for certain reasons only. The reasons are social, educational, religious, economic, cultural programs. So religious reasons also comes under this. NGOs which may not be directly linked to a political party, right? So they are talking about certain NGOs who are political in nature. Even if an NGO is not directly linked to a political party, but if they are engaging in political action, that means if an NGO is not directly related to a political party, but then they are funding Bandh in the country, they are funding strikes in a country, they are funding road blockades in a country, then such NGOs will also be considered as political in nature. Because if you are an NGO, your work is to enhance the social and economical lives of the people, do not engage in political issues. So this is the basic idea. It allows Indians to receive up to 10 lakh annually. Earlier, it was just 1 lakh from relatives from abroad. Organizations receiving foreign funds will not be able to use more than 20% for administrative purpose. Organizations can receive foreign fund, but then do not use more than 20% of that fund for your administrative purpose. So these are the basic things you need to know. From mains point of view, under paper 3, internal security topic, this is a very important one. RODTEP scheme is very important because it talks about increasing India's exports. You all might be already knowing that India is too much dependent on imports and Indian exports is not as high as other countries such as China. So one of the major reason for this is we do not have very good industrial base. And our trade policies and export policies are not that radical. So it is for the government to take measures to make sure our exporters are benefited and they get some incentives so that they can continue exporting to other countries. Only if you export, you will get more returns out of it, and then the economy will develop. So, remission of duties and taxes on exported products scheme. This is the name of the scheme. What does it do? It provides remission and not incentive. Remission means once you export the product and what is the transaction and everything gets over, after that you get some money back from the government for the work you have done. So that is remission. It's not incentive. The problem here is if we are giving incentives, then it will come under the WTO regulations, and the WTO will tell that you cannot give this incentive. But when it is a remission, it does not come under the WTO regulation because it is being provided after the entire transaction gets over. So how does they do it? It is done based on FOB, that is freight on board. Freight on board means, for example, if I'm an exporter and if I'm exporting the product, there will be a buyer who will buy the product from me. So once the product get bought by the buyer, after that, the remission will happen to me based on the amount of or based on the quantity of products which I have exported. So this is called as freight on board. So take a note of this concept. And how the remission will happen? It will happen in an electronic mode. It is called as e-duty credit, or electronic script. So these are the basic points. Earlier, there was a scheme called Merchandise Export from India scheme that was removed because of the non-compliance with World Trade Organization rules. And now the government has come up with RODTEP scheme. Atal Bhujal Yojana. Groundwater conservation and clean drinking water has been one of the major points in the agenda of the government in the last 4 or 5 years. So what is Atal Bhujal Yojana? It is a central sector scheme, not a centrally sponsored scheme. The difference is in a central sector scheme, the entire fund will come from the central government. The aim of the scheme is to facilitate sustainable groundwater management. Total outlay is 6,000 crore. Who is implementing it? It is implemented by Ministry of Jal Shakti. It is funded by two entities. One is the Government of India and second one, the World Bank, in 50-50 basis. The aim of the project is to enhance the water management, that is groundwater management, in certain states which are facing with serious and severe groundwater problem. They are Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Another very important point which this scheme covers is it takes care of panchayat-led groundwater management, and it talks about behavior change. Because unless the people's behavior change and unless they concentrate more on conservation of water, we will not be getting any benefits. So that's why this particular scheme has been introduced. Mains practice question of the day. India has been facing scarcity of fresh water in the recent times. How does the new initiatives of the government try to overcome the situation? Whatever we discussed earlier, you have to write the same things here. That's all. About the mains pointers of the day. Reduction in fossil fuel subsidies. So recently, in the last few years, especially after 2014, the government has reduced its subsidy to fossil fuels to a greater extent. Around 76% of reduction has happened in subsidies. And it is priming the domestic industry to nearly triple its installed renewable energy generation by 2030. That is the target of the government. These points can be used in introduction and conclusion of answers in GS3. One very important topic, you can get a prelims question in UPSC examination based on this effect. It is called Mpemba effect. What exactly is Mpemba effect? Very simple and very easy. The thing is, when we cool hot water and when you cool a normal temperature water or water which is in room temperature, it is the hot water which will get cooled easily in a faster pace. So how does this happen? When you are heating hot water gets heated up, and then what happens is a lot of small bubbles of water, which we call as micro bubbles, get suspended in the water, suspended in the surroundings. So when you are cooling up, convection happens, that is transfer of energy from water to the surrounding particles happen faster. So this is why when you are cooling the hot water, it gets cold very easily because transfer of heat is happening through convection process. Another thing is when you are heating water, a lot of evaporation happens. When evaporation happens, the heat which is present inside the water, that is the energy which is present inside the water, is taken away. So when energy gets taken away, it becomes easy to cool it again. So this is why hot water can get cold easily at a faster pace than water which is at the normal room temperature. This is called as Mpemba effect. So that will be all for today. All the best, study well. Let's meet tomorrow.